All right, so today we're diving into something really cool from author Ramit Sethi. And let me tell you, this is not about pinching pennies or feeling guilty about your morning latte. Nope. We're talking about his 10 rules for building what he calls a rich life. And that's a life that's, about so much more than just what's in your bank account. It's about designing a life you genuinely love living. So let's get into it. And boom, this quote right here, this is the whole game. The goal isn't to be rich. The goal is to live a rich life. It's a complete mindset shift, right? We're not just looking at spreadsheets and budgets here. We're talking about a blueprint for a life built on freedom, intention, and, this is the big one, guilt-free enjoyment. Everything we're about to cover really hinges on this one idea. So how do we actually do this? Well, we're going to break it down into 4 parts. First, we'll talk about building your financial fortress. Then we'll get into the art of conscious spending. After that, we'll look at investing in your life. And finally, we'll hit on what Ramit calls your biggest financial decision. Let's jump in. Okay, first things first, the foundation. You can't build a rich life on shaky ground, right? So these first couple of rules are the absolute non-negotiables. They're all about creating that security and peace of mind you need to actually start building. And rule number 1 is a big one. It's bold. Ramit says you need to have at least 1 full year's worth of emergency savings in cash. Yeah, you heard that right, 1 year. His whole argument is that the world has changed, especially after the last few years. The old rules just don't cut it anymore. This is the new baseline. Now, I know what you're thinking. This flies in the face of everything we've been told, right? For decades, it's been save 3 to 6 months of expenses. But Ramit's point is that that's just not enough anymore. I mean, think about it. Job searches can take a long, long time. Economic downturns, they don't just last a few months. So having a full year in cash isn't about being scared or paranoid. It's about buying yourself genuine, actual freedom from worry. All right, rule number 2 is all about putting your finances on autopilot. He calls it the 10-20-70 split. Here's how it works. You automatically save 10% and you automatically invest 20% of your income. The real magic, though, is in that last 70%. See, once you've automated the important stuff, the saving, the investing, you can spend the rest of your money completely guilt-free on whatever your rich life looks like. And of course, as you start earning more, you'll want to bump up those saving and investing percentages too. Okay, so your financial fortress is built. Now it gets really fun. It's time to completely change how you think about spending. And this isn't about being cheap or restrictive. It's the opposite. It's all about intention. It's about spending extravagantly, and I mean extravagantly, on the things you absolutely love, and then cutting costs mercilessly on everything else. So, rule number 3. This is another biggie. The goal is to live debt-free. And that means paying for huge expenses, think cars, weddings, whatever, in full with cash. Now, you might be thinking, how is that even possible? Well, Ramit tells this great story about how he started saving for his wedding when he was in his early 20s. This was years, literally years before he even met his wife. Why? Because he knew it was a big expense coming down the line. And when you can do that, when you can pay with cash, money suddenly isn't the main factor in your decision. The question just becomes, is this what I really want? This brings us to one of my absolute favorite concepts from Ramit, money dials. Think of these as the specific things in your life you can turn up the spending on completely guilt-free. For him, it's stuff like books. He sees it as an investment in himself. Another one is appetizers at restaurants, which is a really personal one because his family couldn't afford them when he was a kid. And also charity. The whole idea here is to figure out what you truly value and then just lean in and spend lavishly on that. So, this one's for you. What are your money dials? Seriously, think about it. What would you love to spend on without ever looking at the price tag? Is it travel, amazing food, your fitness, maybe a hobby? Figuring this out is such a powerful way to define what a rich life actually looks like for you. Okay, rule number 6 really builds on this whole idea of conscious spending. It's simple. Buy the best and keep it for life. We're talking about shifting away from cheap, disposable stuff and instead investing in quality things that actually last. I mean, he drove the same Honda Accord for 19 years. Or think about something small, like a handcrafted coffee spoon he uses every single day that brings him joy. Or even buying an expensive jacket with the intention of passing it down to his kids. That's the real difference between just looking at the price tag and understanding true value. All right, so you've got your financial base, you know how to spend consciously. Now money gets to be a tool for something way bigger. This next part is all about using your money to actively invest in things like your freedom, your skills, and just your overall happiness. And rule number 5 is a great example of this. He calls it the business class rule. It's such a cool story of how his thinking evolved. See, in his 20s, he just thought people who flew business class were being wasteful, just stupid. But then in his 30s, he started to get curious. Instead of judging, he started asking, wait, why do they do it? And he realized, oh, it's about arriving at your destination feeling rested and ready to go. So now it's his personal rule. Any flight over 4 hours, he flies business. It's a conscious investment in his own energy and well-being. But investing in your life goes way beyond just cool experiences. Check out these next 3 rules, 7, 8, and 9. They're about investing in stuff that's way more valuable than stocks. First, rule 7, have an unlimited budget for self-development. Courses, trainers, books, anything that makes you better. Then there's rule 8, which is so powerful. Earn enough money so you can choose to only work with people you actually like and respect. Just think about that for a second. And finally, rule 9, which might be the most important of all. Value your unscheduled time. A rich life isn't a calendar packed to the gills. It's having the freedom of an open afternoon. So we've covered a lot. We've built the fortress, we've mastered spending, we've invested in our lives, and now we've come to the final rule. And according to Ramit, this isn't just another rule. It's the single biggest, most important financial decision you will ever make. Rule number 10. It is so simple, so direct, and wow, it is profound. The cornerstone of your rich life: marry the right partner. And let's be clear, this is a financial rule. Why? Because the person you marry influences every single part of your financial life. Think about it. Your conversations about money, your feelings about money, your goals, how you spend, how you save, your entire future. It's all shared. Being on the same page about your values and what a rich life even means, that is more important than any stock pick or investment strategy out there, period. So there you have it. These are Ramit Sethi's rules, the blueprint he built for his own life. Which, of course, leaves us with the real question, the one that actually matters. You've heard his ideas, you've seen the framework, so what are the rules going to be for your rich life?